How's it going, Song of Ice and Fire fans? It's Grant from Yecats Miniatures bringing you another unboxing and analysis, and this time we're looking at the brand new Free Folk unit, Harma's Vanguard. And a massive thank you to Wargamer.pl for supplying this unit slightly early so myself and Brett can do an unboxing analysis so you guys can make an informed purchase. And by informed, that is a very, very loose terminology when it comes to me and Brett. We're not particularly good at the game, but we like looking at toys. So here we are. So let's get stuck into the miniatures. So this is the artwork, really nice as it always is. That sort of running forward. 4 sculpts, no attachments. The only time we really get attachments in a cavalry box is when we have Hedge Knights or the Frackie Veterans. Now obviously I'll take the plastic wrap off for you. The problem with doing these unboxings on the camera means that I have to take the plastic wrap off prior to the unboxing because I want to make sure that we give you a genuine first look. Amazing artwork, the weirwood tree, the running forward of this unit, really nice box artwork. So we have a 4-man cavalry tray. We have all of our cards in multiple languages because it's been purchased from Wargamer.pl. This is the card that we're worried about. Try not to focus too much on it right now, but it's the first 5-point cavalry unit that we've got in the game. Myself and Brett will be going through this card in more detail later on, but a brand new order here, which me and myself and Brett believe could be quite good. But I am a hobbyist at heart, so let's get stuck into these toys, and I'm really excited to check out the first Free Folk horse cavalry unit, because obviously we have the bears, which are bear good. So let's check out the first sculpt. Now I really like these sculpts. They're quite uniformed in their non-uniform look, so you've got the patchwork materials over the horse. Now you can paint them in different colours. You could be really classy and do some Lannister stuff, some Baratheon stuff, and stitch together, do some freehand work on it if you really need to, if you feel the need to, or just paint them with browns and greys to make them livery. But lots of motion in this. It's obviously a male sculpt. He's got a really weird sort of like a sword. You can paint like dragon glass, really cool. But quite some movement in running forward. The second sculpt is a female sculpt, and this really cool sort of spiked mace. I really like how again they've made this patchwork sort of barding on the horse, and I quite like how they put the horns and the teeth and stuff on the horse's reins and strapping. But the details are absolutely incredible. I love the way they've got all their bed rolls and stuff on the back. And that detail in the face, look, so good, so good. Our third sculpt, our second male. This guy is just sort of trotting forward, looking like a sort of mid-pace gallop, holding his spike mace forward. I think this is the guy from the unit card. No barding on this one, but again, all the teeth and the stuff that's sort of studding around the neck of the horse, also the patchwork cloak he's got on there. It does sort of bring it all together, especially if you're using earthy tones to really sort of tie the unit together. But these guys are supposed to be quite individual. I believe these guys look like they're spending time away from the camp because, again, same we see here, the bed rolls at the back, all their belongings on the back of the horse. Again, it's another female sculpt, which is really cool. Mid-swing of that spiked mace. The first time we see any sort of braided tail on any horses as well, I believe, in the game. So again, just these little attentions to detail that are just really cool. I can't wait to see you guys paint them, and make sure you do tag us on Instagram if and when you do. Again, look at the detail on the face of these miniatures. Really cool, loads of detail. I'm going to go and jump on a call with Brett and leave you in a spinning shot. And Brett's here. How's it going, Brett?
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Now, we're going to be talking about free folk, so you need to be on your best behaviour, all right?
I'll do my best.
Come on, they're free folk. These are representative of the happy people north of the wall, mate. They've got zombies to deal with. They don't need your as well.
Well, I'll do my best to spare them any hate right now.
Okay, cool. Well, talking of rubbish horses, that is what you said, wasn't it? We've got Harma's Vanguard. We've just checked the miniatures out, and the miniatures look really, really cool. So first and foremost, Brett, have you seen the miniatures?
I have. They followed the trend of what we're seeing over and over with Simon, and that's the sculpts seem to just keep getting better. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, really nice, man. They're really nice. I love the way that I spoke about it in the unboxing, but the actual models got all their gear on the back of the horses. Like these guys are literally out. They're never camping. They're constantly on the move, and it's really, really cool. So let's talk a little bit about this unit. So it's a 5-point cavalry unit. That's the first and only 5-point cavalry unit, right?
If you're not counting the chariot, which obviously it's not a true cavalry unit, then yes. We haven't seen 5 point cab yet.
Well, we're seeing 5-point cav now, and these guys are a 5 movement. They have crude weapons, which is a 4+ to hit and a 6/4 profile. They have a 6+ armor save and a 7+ morale, so really quite a squishy unit. And they have a brand new order. It planned approach. Start of any turn, so it's any turn, not just a friendly turn, or when they activate. You target one friendly unit in long range. Until the end of the turn, that unit may not be targeted by enemy effects or abilities. When selecting their action for the turn, that unit may only declare charge actions. Obviously, as the cavalry rule, we don't need to go over that. So initially, I quite like that it's a cavalry support unit. It seems strange they're only movement 5, but I figured that as a support unit for a cavalry support unit, we'd see them at movement 6, especially when they're hardly armoured at all. But planned approach is quite a nice order. I quite like that it's their way of sort of dealing with sort of like effects and abilities. But it seems like it's going to be quite a complicated rule when it comes, because obviously it's sort of pinned onto the targeting word, which can be a little bit of a struggle to deal with. What are your initial thoughts on Harma's Vanguard, bro?
It's pretty solid for a 5 point cavalry unit. As you mentioned, they're definitely a support unit. These guys are not necessarily coming in and really overwhelming you and doing a ton of damage by way of their attack, but they're fast. They also have Lady Val. Their defense is pretty abysmal. This is for a cavalry unit. This is definitely the worst we. I don't think we've ever seen cavalry with worse than a 5+ at all. So it's a 6, and then they're below average on the morale as well, which I mean, technically 7 is average, but I think we've talked about this before. I would say 7 is just slightly below, 6 being what I would call the average. Um, yeah, they're if they get caught out, they're gonna die very quickly. I can see using planned approach just strictly by the defense, but again, like you mentioned, it's going to open the more opportunities for targeting questions, and I think more than anything, their problem is that they just don't fit into what Free Folk are doing to win right now. I think they're definitely pretty good. I mean, they can kind of hang out in the back, use this order to blunt some of the stuff that the opponent wants to do as far as alpha charge. um, I can see a case where you're turning off certain attack orders, you're turning off some of the retribution like things, but so I know something like martial training, it's not going to save the free folk player. And it would stop final strike, which is always a plus, but it's just interesting. It's like a boisterous charisma that you use at the start of turn, and it can target it just targets your friend for just that turn. But it could be interesting. I think that's one way to play it. I think the other thing you do is to use them to charge in and shut off stuff like shield wall, since shield wall technically targets the shield wall actually targets the attacker, which is interesting. I think they use the wolf really for their strong control.
So would it stop set for charge? It wouldn't, would it? Because that targets the unit.
As far as I see it, things like boisterous charisma block the set for charge tactics card because the attacker is mentioned in the trigger. It's not mentioned in the trigger for the order. But this doesn't specifically say that it stops tactics cards, it stops effects. So a tactics card does generate an effect. So as far as I see it, they can play the card. I just don't think that they can target the unit that charged them because they would be targeting them by an effect from the card, is how I see it. So you could play other tactics cards that don't target the free folk unit, but if it targets the way I see it is if a card or an order or anything like that is going to target the free folk unit in the process of resolving it, then they wouldn't be able to use it on them. So I don't think set for charge as the card works. Set for charge as the order never targets the attacker.
Yeah, that is a really strange way of wording it. Because effects I sort of think there's things like stubborn tenacity, but that isn't an effect. That's an ability. So
I think the fact that it says effect instead of calling out orders, tactic cards, I think it broadens the things that it can cover. I think it's probably more all inclusive because it's not specifying. So maybe this is something that they're kicking around for doing to boisterous charisma to make it a little bit more powerful. That would be pretty interesting. I wouldn't mind that. This looks to me at first glance yeah, because you wouldn't be able to be targeted by the enemy influence because it's an effect. The fact that it only lasts for one turn is interesting. There's probably some cases where you can duck some retribution by using this. Something like cave dwellers, for example, in a match are really afraid of final strike, but the cave dwellers can go in and butcher something and they wouldn't be able to be hit by final strike or hidden traps on their way in. So that's kind of a niche case, but it's interesting. They're interesting. I'll say that. It's very it's interesting.
yeah. Yes, we love new terminology, man. It really opens the floodgates to questions. So yeah, I think you're right. I think effects is a much broader term, and it I think it does sort of bring a lot more into one word. So yeah, I think they're a nice unit, mate. 5 points, really cool. Be interesting to see how people are going to be using them. Again, the model's really nice, so be interesting to see how people paint them as well. I mean, there's not much more to say about that, really, other than I don't want to see these guys and a unit of bears because I want to be able to hit the bears before they hit me. Yeah, cool. All right, man. Well, again, we'll say a massive thank you to wargamer.pl for sending these boxes out so we can review them and do an unboxing for you guys so you can make a informed decision if you want to purchase these. And if you do purchase, obviously, wargamer.pl will have these available for pre-order now, and they will be dispatched within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, any final thoughts on Harma's Vanguard?
We'll have to see if they find a really useful place. Yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, they're kind of against the archetype of what has worked for free folk for basically this entire time. So it'll be interesting to see if they find a spot or not. I do think that they could be powerful, but I'm not really sure if they're just better than the options that they already have, unfortunately.
Okay, dude. Well, it'd be interesting to see how people are using them. And if you have got any plans for these guys or you're excited about them, please do leave a comment in the section below. Thank you very much for deciding to spend your time with me and Brett. If you have enjoyed this, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. Brett may pretend he doesn't like free folk, but he has just told me off there that he's actually starting a brand new free folk army next week with 4 units of Harma's Vanguard. That's right, wasn't it? That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, cool, man. Well, it's nice catching up again, Brett. I hope you're keeping well on that, and yeah, I'll speak to you soon.
All right, talk to you soon.
Okay, man. Bye.